we interrupt this program. This is a national emergency. Important instructions will follow. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. This is not a test. A nuclear attack was commenced against the United States. 15 nuclear bombs have detonated in several areas across the country. They include Baltimore, Boston, Chicago, Denver, Detroit, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, New York, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Contingency plan, I got mine on my hip. Knocking on this door, I'll send you with Christ live. Contingency plan, I'm with your bitch in the Sphinx. She got canned goods, this hoe wanna eat my dick. Contingency plan, I'm standing tall in the collapse. They wanna govern our mind and study how we all react. Fingers on triggers, watch freedom fall right in our lap. Contingency plan, shit hit the fan, I'm going back. A coward die 1,000 deaths, I'ma die once. My contingency plan, real niggas to the front. Grab a bat, grab a sword, grab a gun. Bullets raining like a hurricane. Reload the drums, the purge, my home away from home. Here I come, rule number one. When it's beat, you never run. Let them shells cook a nigga alive, you well done. Baptized by fire, feel like Satan, son. Chosen ones need to unite, there's more than one. Left, right, paradigm can trick a real one. My niggas acting like I wasn't in the field once. Last night I had a dream, we fought for freedom and we won. And I put that on my unborn son, straight slaughter. I put that on my unborn daughter. My contingency plan includes your bloodline and torture. Yeah. Divine enforcer, yeah, all that greed, look at what it cost you. Holy Bible in my hand, I sent them to the altar. Married to the smoke, me and my pistol at the altar. Contingency plan, I got mine on my hip. Knocking on this door, I'll send you with Christ live. Hurricane, what's your plan?
My contingency plan is go ballistic. It's super expensive time to bring the rules, so pay attention. Power structure was cut down, it's simultaneous. Blowing up, everything is so convenient. I'm the angriest dude, real pistols is dangerous. Bound strapped to my chest with the zaniness. Keep on naming this double weapon, I stole it. Throwing politicians and feds up in the ocean. Where's my opponent? Show me my opponent. Billionaires and Davos, I gotta smoke them. After you win, I pick them up and throw them. Fuck all the talking, it's what to show them everything. With the raiders in my veins, burning everything. Ain't no leaving no dead remains, better feel the pain. In the name of the hurricane, if we don't kill the government, this shit will never change.
Wow, gentlemen, when the shit hits the fan, some guys run and some guys stay.
Salute, live and learn. What up, though? Get this shit on out the way. I might have to do a part 2. What up, though? Eyes wide shut. What's good? What's good? Try to knock this on out the way before Vonta leave out. If I don't break it all down within time, I might have to do a part 2. But till then, we talk about Star Trek.
You're so obsessed.
Obsessed? You can't find it within yourself to stand up and tell the truth about what happened. You don't deserve to wear that uniform.
He's a Starfleet captain, and he's decided to abandon everything this uniform stands for.
You betrayed everything that uniform stands for.
You betrayed your uniform!
Hey, it's Janelle Waz, and welcome back to another Star Trek video. Last week, I talked about the DS9 episode for the uniform, and there was some interesting discussion in the comments section about how Sisko handled the situation. But the most shocking part of my video was that Eddington used to look like this back in the 80s.
Unlike you, Captain.
Oh, yeah, like the Eddington character he played in Krull. If y'all ever seen Krull back in the day, Krull. You know, yeah, back in the day. But yeah, like this is like if y'all seen the episode for the uniform and what Sisko did. This the question is, would any other captain do it? Would any other captain go after Eddington the way Sisko did?
I know when to walk away.
Hey, listen here, you little lying son of a... what was I talking about again?
I've done well. So have I. Damn.
But I did get a couple of suggestions for a video about how the other Star Trek captains would have handled Eddington's betrayal in the same vein as some of my other recent videos. Now, I do recommend that you check out my video about For the Uniform first, but just to recap, Commander Eddington was stationed on DS9 as chief of Starfleet security because Starfleet didn't trust Odo, the station's chief of security, who nearly quit after that. And then as it turns out that over the 18 months he was on the station, Eddington was working for the Maquis and had been leaking information to them, as well as giving Starfleet false information before finally giving Starfleet the middle finger.
Have you ever reminded Starfleet Command that they stationed Eddington here? They didn't trust me. No. Please do.
Right,
it took a very angry Cisco 8 months to finally catch Eddington, who started going around poisoning Cardassian planet atmospheres. So he poisoned one of theirs.
Do you realize what you've done?
I've only just begun.
Now, as far as I recall, Cisco is the only main star.
This is Star Trek Live. It's been a minute, Ellie. You know, going over the episode For the Uniform. One of the greatest episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, where Captain Sisko went after Eddington, fought that motherfucker on the planet. He's like, you don't turn yourself in, I'm gonna shoot this planet and poison the atmosphere for over 50 years. He's like, nigga, you bluffed it. Sisko blast the planet. and he was gonna do that shit again. The episode is called For the Uniform, and as a matter of fact, let me go to it, because you gotta hear it. It's in Sisko.
What are you really up to, Javert? You expect me to believe that a decorated Starfleet officer, the pride of the service, is going to poison an entire planet?
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
You're bluffing.
Am I? Commander, launch torpedoes.
He hesitated.
Aye, sir.
Commander, I said launch torpedoes. Aye, sir.
Blast the whole planet.
Trilithium resin is dissipating throughout the biosphere. The Maquis are scrambling their transport ships. They're starting to evacuate.
Do you realize what you've done?
I've only just begun. I'm going to eliminate every Maquis colony in the DMZ.
You're talking about turning hundreds of thousands of people into homeless refugees.
That's right. When you attacked the Malinche, you proved one thing. That the Maquis have become an intolerable threat to the security of the Federation, and I am going to eliminate that threat.
But think about those people you saw in the caves. Huddled and starving, they didn't attack the Malinche.
You should have thought about that before you attacked the Federation starship.
Oh!
Lay a course for Tracken 2, Warp 6. Commander, prepare 2 more torpedoes.
Engine break. Set course 050
Unless safeties on
Mark
torpedoes
179.
3 and 4.
Can't you see what's happening to you?
What's love, goddess?
You're going against everything you claim to believe in. And for what? To satisfy a personal vendetta?
You betrayed your uniform!
And you're betraying yours, right now! The sad part is you don't even realize it. I feel sorry for you, Captain. This obsession with me. Look what it's cost you.
Major, shut that dude off! Commander Wolf, prepare to launch torpedoes! Wait!
Sisko was a plan.
If you call off your attack, I'll turn over all our biogenic weapons.
Not enough!
Avery Brooks Masterclass.
All right,
Avery
Javert.
Brooks.
I'll give you what you want. Me.
Okay, now this is about.
Hello. If you saw part 1, you'll know Sans
Now that is about if anybody else would have made that decision.
Episode of Treknalysis. It's an unsolved mystery today on Treknalysis.
I found a chick that fucks with Trek. So it's like, bet it up.
Tonight, all new stories.
Wait. Is this it? No. Is this one?
Forgive them for the death of my boy.
No. It gotta be this one.
Episode of Treknalysis.
Yeah.
It's an unsolved mystery today on Treknalysis.
Yeah, it's like, will Cisco do the shit? I mean, will they know the captain?
Tonight, all new stories on the season premiere of Unsolved Mysteries.
DS9's chief of security, Odo.
No. This the other one. It's right here. God damn, I ain't putting no names next to it. My bad. Sorry about that.
You can't find it within yourself to stand up and tell the truth about what happened. You deserve to wear that uniform.
I might have to make a part 2, Vaughn.
And he's decided to
But I hope I can at least get this one out.
stands for.
You betrayed everything that uniform stands for.
Much love.
Trade your uniform!
Hey, it's Janelle Waz, and
Janelle
welcome
Waz,
back
that's
to
her
another
name,
Star
Bob.
Trek video.
Named Janelle Waz.
Last week, I talked about the DS9 episode for the uniform, and there was some interesting discussion in the comments section
Supply
about
Baltimore.
how Cisco handled the situation.
Much love,
But the most
Emma.
shocking part
Much
of my
love, Ellie.
video
Salute
was that
night.
Eddington used to look like this back in the 80s.
Unlike you, Captain. I know when to walk away.
Hey, listen here, you little lying son of a... what was I talking about again?
I've chosen well.
So have I. Damn.
But I did get a couple suggestions for a video about how the other Star Trek captains would have handled Eddington's betrayal in the same vein as some of my other recent videos. Now, I do recommend that you check out my video about For the Uniform first, but just to recap,
We already know about
Commander
For the
Eddington
Uniform.
was stationed on DS9 as Chief of Starfleet Security
Odo was
because
about to quit.
Starfleet didn't trust Odo, the station's Chief of Security,
The shifter.
who nearly quit after that. And then as it turns out that over the 18 months he was on the station, Eddington was working for the Maquis and had been leaking information
Shot my
to them,
girl,
as well as giving
bastard.
Starfleet false information before finally
Shot
giving
Kira.
Starfleet the middle finger.
Have you ever reminded Starfleet Command that they stationed Eddington here because they didn't trust me? No.
No.
Please do.
Okay.
It took a very angry Cisco 8 months to finally catch Eddington, who started going around poisoning Cardassian planet atmospheres. So poisoned one of theirs.
Do you realize what you've done?
I've only just begun.
Now, as far as I recall, Cisco is the only main Star Trek captain who had no one betray him so directly. But the other captains have had a couple of similar experiences, so we can piece together how they would have responded in Cisco's place.
Yeah. So, would Kirk make the same decision? Janeway and Archer. I never watched Enterprise, but T'Pol can get it. Smash the fuck out of T'Pol. And yeah. Voyager, Kirk, and Enterprise. Would they make this decision that Cisco made? So this is the question of the day, y'all. Y'all gotta watch 40 Uniform.
So join me as I answer how the other Star Trek captains would have handled the betrayal and treason of one Michael Eddington.
And for what? To satisfy a personal vendetta?
You betrayed your uniform!
And you're betraying yours right now.
But before I go further, thanks for checking out my video. Make sure you like and subscribe for more of my Star Trek, video game, and other miscellaneous content. Keep
Janelle
those
Waz.
hailing frequencies open on the other social media sites. And a big thank you to my channel members
I'ma
for
send you the
supporting
link to
the
our
channel.
channel, Vaughn.
If you'd like to buy me a cup of tea and support my work,
buy me
consider
a
joining up on my channel.
Cup of
Be
coffee.
great to have you aboard. Captain Kirk can be a bit of an enigma. On the one hand, he tends to go by the Starfleet rulebook, especially with how his ship is run. But at the same time, he's not afraid to bend the rules when necessary if lives are at stake. He wants his orders to be followed and is quick to deal with insubordination, but he's not entirely unapproachable either. And those he's closest to would go to the ends of the galaxy for
I see
him.
you, Steve, too.
That being said, movie Kirk does change things up a little bit. In the movies, he's definitely willing to break the rules altogether. He did go against orders in order to save Spock's life. But his loyalties ultimately lie with the Federation, even to the point of risking court-martial and imprisonment by the institution he serves. Not to mention nearly getting stuck in the 80s to pick up a couple of humpback whales so they could talk to a probe to stop destroying Earth. Star Trek 4 was wild, man.
Much, but they are not the hell your whales.
I suppose they told you that, huh?
The hell they did.
Heck, in Star Trek 6, he was instrumental in bringing down a treasonous conspiracy to prevent a Klingon Federation peace treaty, even in spite of his own justifiable misgivings about the Klingons.
I can never forgive them for the death of my boy.
He's not without emotions, but he knows where his duty lies. So suffice to say that Kirk would probably take Eddington's betrayal personally in Cisco's position.
Yep.
He probably would have gotten to know the guy at that point, plus he betrayed Starfleet. But would he have gone on a full-blown hunt to bring him in? Yeah.
Yep.
And one needn't look further than the episode Obsession. Kirk Captain Ahab's his way through a vendetta he has on an evil cloud. Huh, he has something in common with Chief O'Brien.
O'Brien has been deemed their last hope.
The Cloud once killed 200 of his former shipmates, including his mentor, when he was a young officer, so Kirk was hell-bent on destroying the damn thing.
Yep.
Even at the risk of missing a rendezvous to pick up vaccines for a colony that really needed them.
Like, fuck those
Sir,
vaccines.
we have noted in your recent behavior certain items which on the surface seem unusual.
Of course, the Cloud isn't a person, and it didn't work under Kirk for 18 months, though it was proven to be intelligent. Nevertheless, if something were to piss off Kirk enough, like, let's say Eddington committing treason, I think he would be willing to bend a few rules to go after him. And Kirk, being a master tactician, would probably have laid a clever trap for a careless Eddington to fall into and be brought to justice.
Yeah.
Besides, there's no way Kirk was going to allow direct shirtless competition to stand. There can only be one!
So you managed to get your shirt off.
Now, in some ways, Picard's personality and the way he runs his ship is evidence that he wouldn't pursue Eddington like Sisko did. Compared to Sisko, who would invite his crew over for home-cooked meals, which apparently included Eddington.
I saw him almost every day. Read his reports. Had him to dinner.
Picard always kept a respectable distance from even his senior officers. With the exception of Beverly, but they already knew each other. Heck, that poker game at the end of the show, that took 7 years!
Yeah.
Because that technically wasn't him.
Because, like, real shit, I would just notice, I was like, Picard never hang out with nobody unless it's Beverly or Guinan. Otherwise, he keep his distance. When he finally met Janeway, you know, like, they shared a lot of interest with each other. I wouldn't be surprised if they was fucking. But, you know, Picard kept his distance, and, you know, like, that was pretty cool. You know, like, you know, because, like, he's a motherfucking Starfleet captain. You know, like, y'all see him when it's time to see him. Meet me on a fucking bridge. Let's do this shit. You know, but otherwise, I'm in the captain's quarters, so I'm talking to Beverly in my private chamber, or I'm talking to Guinan, trying to get some advice. He ain't even talking to Counselor Troy. That's the whole thing. Like, how come Guinan didn't get that seat? Guinan is up there with Q. The fucking Betas don't have nothing compared to motherfucking Guinan's race in the Q continuum. You know, but I liked it that distance until the end of the season when he finally walked into that poker game and said, fuck it, let's play. You know what I'm saying? He's like, fuck it, let's play. I never chilled with y'all for 7 years. I'm going to chill with y'all today. You know what I'm saying? I liked it that moment. You know, but, you know, it was, you know, it separates the captains, and I like the separation because, like, we can distinctly be like, he was a good captain because of this trait, Kirk was a good captain because of that trait, Sisko's a phenomenal captain because of this trait, and plus, like, we get to see progression from commander to captain. That's why I love DS9. I get to see him transfer from commander to captain. So, you know, I love the story progression.
Years.
Yeah, he took it very
because that
seriously.
technically wasn't him.
Well played, Counselor.
Because of Picard's more reserved nature, I don't think he would have been close enough to Eddington to feel the personal betrayal that Sisko did.
But
Granted,
Picard
it wasn't like
wouldn't do
Sisko
it.
and Eddington were bros, but they knew each other on a low-tier social level and worked with each other daily. Picard might have known him on a professional level, but that would be about it. Probably the most social they would get is if Picard was sipping some tea when he walked in to hand in his report.
Yep.
Instead, I think Picard would have to feel betrayed on a principle level, which would cut as deep for Picard as it did for Sisko knowing the guy. Picard's first duty as a Starfleet officer is to the truth.
But if Riker was captain of the Enterprise and Anson Rowe pulled that shit because she was with the Maquis. I mean, like, she chose to leave and go with the Maquis. If Riker was captain of the Enterprise and that shit happened with Rowe, I think Riker would have probably went after her and probably apprehended her, probably not try to kill her, but, you know, but Picard, he definitely wouldn't try to pursue. But they did have an incident like that with Anson Rowe, and I liked it, Anson Rowe.
And the lies and deceit that threatened the peace Picard worked to maintain with the Cardassians would certainly earn Eddington a very angry Picard speech. He'll see your Les Miserables references and raise you Shakespearean ones.
Exactly.
Well, Javert. And if that means destroying your ship in the process, so be it. Is there land to have loved and lost? Is there land to have loved and all?
But all that being said, the episode Preemptive Strike does see Picard in a very similar situation as Sisko. Only it's far more personal because Picard had Ensign Rowe under his episode because holy crap, she should have never been assigned to that mission in the first place.
Exactly.
But we do see Picard's reaction to Rowe leaving her mission to join the Maquis. He's clearly livid about it, but if you notice, he doesn't do anything to stop her. Maybe it was guilt from keeping
that
her
look on Picard's face. He was really fucking heated. He was heated. He was heated. But he was probably heated because one, we should never put him on that mission. Two, we gotta deal with the Maquis. Most of these motherfuckers are ex-Starfleet anyway. So you gotta be careful about this shit. You gotta be real careful. Half of these motherfuckers in the Maquis are ex-Starfleet. So, you know, all you gotta do is just have a... All you gotta do is get swayed the wrong way. or something lives within the heart. You know, like you could be in Starfleet all day, but you might have the heart of a Maquis rebel, and you're gonna have to go where your heart goes. You know, so it, you know, like it is what it is, and like seeing Kira on DS9 go through what she went through. Ooh wee! She's the most greatest character when it comes to the female side. This is like she had to have. I need a whole video on Kira. That's all I gotta say. I need a whole video.
Mission after she expressed doubts, maybe he knew it was pointless to go after her. But you can see he's deeply hurt on a level you don't normally see from him. She didn't intentionally mislead him like Eddington did to Sisko, so maybe that stayed his hand a little bit.
Exactly.
But how do I think Picard would have handled Eddington's betrayal? Well, he's far less rash than Sisko, which is why he never laid a hand on Q when Sisko totally did. On the one hand, he might opt to let Eddington go and instead use his resources to counteract the information leaks, a much more level-headed route to minimize damage. I doubt Eddington's computer virus would have had much of an impact on the Enterprise like it did with the Defiant or DS9. I think Picard would have gotten on that pretty quickly. But with Worf in charge, hey, anything's possible. That being said, Picard does have it in him to go on a little revenge quest. I mean, look at First Contact.
You're even worse than the Borg.
Oh, honey.
But at First Contact, Picard was shooting fucking with the Tommy Gunn Dixon in his bitch. Shall I?
Half of it.
I will make them pay for what they've done.
But no, I think Picard would go more into damage control mode rather than revenge mode.
Have you got mighty within yourself to stand up, number two? You don't deserve to wear that uniform.
Now, I do feel like Leia is a little exaggerated in the fandom, making her more hardcore than she actually is. Sure, she has no problem punishing insubordination, and early in the show she has to, as the Maquis crew members are incorporated into Voyager's crew. But she's more of a protective mama bear, protecting her crew as well as getting to know them and be emotionally supportive.
I'm glad she felt the same way I felt. I'm like, Janeway feels more like a mother. She's a great mother of that ship. She'll protect her baby cubs. You know, like she's mama bear, and y'all the baby bears, and whatever mama bear say, go. And she don't respond well to threats. She will walk up the aisle and shoot your ass with a Borg phaser.
Rather than a straight-up hard ass. Even with the crewmen who directly betray the crew, in other words, Seska and Michael Jonas, she's more about damage control than Vendetta. Nevertheless, the two-parter Equinox leaves no doubt in my mind that she would absolutely go after Eddington.
Yep.
Granted, Captain Ransom was a captain she admired and not someone who worked directly under her, but she was hell-bent on capturing a guy she only knew for a couple of days. Because it turned out he was using aliens to power his ship, and when she called him out on it, he captured Seven in the holodock and left Voyager to deal with the rightfully pissed-off aliens.
Yep. You're right, I am angry. I'm damned angry. He's a Starfleet captain, and he's decided to abandon everything this uniform stands for.
You betrayed your uniform!
Heck, Chakotay got in her way, and she confined him to quarters.
Yeah, Chakotay, a.k.a. Chipotle. Chipotle was like, don't do this. Tuvok pulled up like, this is illogical. It's like, bitch, I put Chakotay in his quarters. You want to go there too? Janeway was fucking fierce. She was like, I just threw Chakotay in his quarters. Do you want to go with him? Do you want to go with that motherfucker? So I immediately said, yes, Janeway will go after Eddington. And plus another thing, they in a Delta Quadrant. Ain't nobody gonna hear shit.
Was just trying to stop her from acting like Captain Archer in the Xindi arc.
Your behavior is irrational. We could find another solution.
I've already confined my first officer to quarters. Would you like to join him?
So imagine if Ransom was an officer she saw daily and trusted, like Eddington was to Cisco. He wouldn't even need to goad her into coming after him. She would be like, damn right, this is personal. Now how about a little bog nanoprobe, Scarecrow?
Break.
And like with the Equinox crew, once she captured Eddington, she'd probably strip him of rank and force him to clean the toilets on Voyager.
Yep.
You're even worse than the Borg.
You're even worse than the Borg.
I beg your pardon.
And speaking of Captain Archer, the thing about him is that he's the nicest
like, bitch, I beg
guy.
your pardon?
Until you piss him off. Or put him under enough pressure for a long time in the Delphic Expanse.
You did the right thing. Seems the longer we're out here, the more I have to keep saying that to myself.
Let's face it, Archer is capable of doing some shady shit. Just look at the Xindi arc. So could
now I gotta watch Enterprise because she kept on mentioning the Xindi arc. She kept saying the Xindi arc all through this shit. I'm like, the Xindi arc. I guess the Xindi arc was good as hell. I just want to see T'Pol get smashed. Are you smashing T'Pol yet? Like, when do the smashing of T'Pol begin? Like, I'll be smashing her in that room. We get done from a mission. Everybody gotta wash up in that little shower room. I will be giving T'Pol so many back shots in that. I'm sorry.
do what Cisco did to bring Eddington in? Sure, he'd probably feel bad about it, but if he had to...
But real shit, looking at Archer, he looks like a firm but fair, charismatic guy. And I guess, you know, like when she's describing him, I'm like, holy shit, I was right, just like based off, you know, like look, but they say don't by his cover because Archer could be a motherfucking beast. So that Xindi arc, I gotta watch Enterprise now. Ain't that a bitch? I gotta watch Enterprise now.
He could. But under normal circumstances, would he? Well, out of all the Star Trek captains, Archer, in my opinion, was the most like a regular guy. Laid back, informal, but you still got a sense that he was a man of the future. It's one of the reasons why I like Enterprise so much. It's a nice bridge between our present and the future of Captain Kirk. Archer's a fairly approachable guy and tries to go out of his way to get to know his crew, not entirely unlike Cisco. Like the time he invited Malcolm over to breakfast.
Any sports you do follow? Not particularly.
Granted, I'm long overdue for an Enterprise rewatch, but the closest I can think of where Archer felt betrayed by someone close to him was in the Season 4 two-parter Affliction and Divergence.
I'm not working for the Klingons.
Oh yeah, we felt like you said
You betrayed everything that uniform stands for.
That's right,
After getting to know Malcolm over 4 years and even finding out what his favorite dessert is,
pineapple. That's my favorite.
Archer discovers that he is involved in a Section 31 plot.
Yeah, and I found out about that Section 31 shit about I was playing my Star Trek game. I'm like, oh, he's one of the crew members. This nigga was working for Section 31 the whole time. Damn. You know, and that was the person that he was more closest to. It was like, you know, like if Archer was Kirk, then the Section 31 guy was like Spock. You know, like those two was close. See the interactions. You know, like I saw the clips and shit. I'm like, you know, this motherfucker's really close, and everybody's saying that they was close. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I need to watch this show. But Section 31 had their hand in everything since the beginning.
Because something, they need to stabilize the Klingon Empire, so Malcolm had to lie to Archer the entire time to slow the ship down.
On that, you have my word. Your word isn't worth a lot at the moment.
And you can tell how deeply hurt Archer is. Maybe even more so than Cisco, because he was closer to Malcolm than Ben ever was to Eddington. However, unlike Eddington, Malcolm clearly doesn't want to do Section 31's bidding, and is clearly remorseful and loyal to Archer.
Lisa!
If Malcolm didn't have that remorse, I'm sure Archer would have no problem locking him up and throwing away the key. Maybe even doing a little airlock time. Archer does...
And watching the clips of their interactions, Malcolm is a good fucking actor. I fucks with that. He's a good fucking actor. Archer is pretty fucking good. T'Pol is like a usual Vulcan, but just in female form. She's like a female Spock that's bangable. And what I love about T'Pol, like at least she gets to explore her emotions. But don't make Spock get his emotions. He's gonna fuck Spock could have fucked everybody on the Enterprise up if he wanted to. That's how cold Spock is. Everybody could have got their asses beat or killed. like real shit. Spock is a beast.
Feel things deeply, and while he might go on a chase for Eddington to bring a traitor
to T'Pol would kill everybody on that goddamn ship on the Enterprise. Like shit. And she's a female, and you know what they say? Hell have no fury. Like a what? A female Vulcan.
Justice? I don't see him going to Cisco lengths like poisoning the atmosphere of an entire planet. Yes, he did do some crazy stuff in the Xindi arc, but that really doesn't apply here since Cisco wasn't under those dire circumstances when pursuing Eddington. I can see Archer maybe chase Eddington down and then have his crew come up with a clever way of apprehending him. Or sneak onto his ship and punch him. Faith of the heart.
You have no idea how much I'm restraining myself from knocking you on your ass.
And here are all the captains. I would argue that Picard probably wouldn't have
say
gone
that. I gotta
after
see that
Eddington.
scene. Kirk would definitely go after Eddington. Picard, no. Janeway, yes. Archer, yes. But I have to read it again though. Picard wasn't gonna do it because I read it wrong. And then once I flipped it Anson Rowe was something about Keto. You would expect him to do it, but like nah, he wouldn't do it. Nope.
Well, the other captains would have. Janeway probably would have gone the closest to what Cisco did, while Kirk and Archer would probably come up with clever solutions. But what do you all think? How would the other captains have handled Eddington's betrayal? Do you agree with my analysis, or do you think I'm missing something? And what other moral dilemma would you like to see the other captains handle? Please, leave comments below and discuss. As all...
Yeah, so basically, yes for Kirk, no for Picard, yes for Janeway, and yes for Archer. They going after Eddington. But shout out to you, Vasa. You said everybody would go after Eddington. So if Picard was to go after Eddington, because they put no under him. I mean, she put no. But if Picard was to go after Eddington, like you said, like a different way. Picard would have probably called somebody at Starfleet Command to be like, yo, man, keep an eye on that motherfucker or some shit. Or he would have probably had somebody infiltrate the Maquis like Janeway did with Tuvok, and apprehend him from there. And plus, Tuvok was the best person to infiltrate the Maquis, to bring in Torres and Chakotay. Chakotay. So yeah. Yep. That's because Eddington wouldn't dare betray Picard. Woo! Yeah, because it's just something about Picard that you just gotta respect. But now we're gonna go to the next. We're gonna do another Star Trek when you get back, because I know you'll be busting up at 1 o'clock. So we're gonna do one more. And this was a good episode. We're gonna do this one.
Another episode of Treknalysis. It's an unsolved mystery today on Treknalysis.
Unsolved mystery. Unsolved mystery.
All new stories of
this
the
is a
season
good
premiere of Unsolved Mysteries.
DS9's Chief of Security, Odo, the thin beige line between order and chaos.
I got another Star
He's
Trek
always an
video.
outsider looking in, a neutral party who wouldn't take sides. The only side he was on was justice. While we'd seen Odo investigate a couple of crimes on DS9 from the start of the show, it was the Season 2 episode Necessary Evil that showcased Odo's commitment to justice, as well as providing his, Kira's, Quark's, heck, even the station's backstory. It's a very solid early DS9 episode.
Join me. Perhaps you may be able to help solve a mystery.
But before I go further, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I talk a lot about Star Trek, video games, and whatever else I feel like talking about. And if you'd like to help support the channel, consider becoming a member. Be great to have you aboard.
I think I sent you the link to our channel.
It was a dark and stormy night. No, really, that's how the episode starts.
It was a dark and stormy night.
Not a promising beginning.
It's not a promising beginning.
We open to a woman in white standing in front of a window, insisting she didn't kill her husband. A very noir setting.
I love the
Mostly
noir
because
setting.
someone forgot to
Me
pay
too,
the
Rob.
electric company.
Say what you will about the Cardassians, at least they could keep the power on.
This is Mrs. Vatrick. She's playing hostess to a visitor at her home on Bajor. One Ferengi bartender. Quark. She's known Quark ever since the Cardassian occupation of Bajor, where she and her husband ran a chemist shop on DS9, then called Terok Nor.
You didn't call me to Bajor to talk about tea.
Wait, she didn't?
I need a favor. I can pay you. I'm listening.
There is a lockbox hidden in the wall of the Vatrick's old shop, and Mrs. Vatrick wants Quark to get it for her.
This is a good episode.
She claims she'd rather not go back to the station herself because that's where her poor husband was murdered.
Or maybe you'd rather not let Odo see you there.
Yep.
I'm sure he's forgotten all about that by now.
Lady, this is Odo we're talking here. The guy knows when the furniture in his quarters is off by a couple of centimeters.
She breaks into my quarters while I'm regenerating and moves all my furniture out of alignment.
Quark, however, agrees to the job for 5 bars of latinum. He says it'll take a day or two and... But out of the shadows, a mysterious figure emerges as Mrs. Vatrick gives him a knowing glance. Odo is upset that Starfleet wants him to provide a written record of what he's doing on the clock. Those bastards. He proceeds to record his first log entry, roasting humanoids for wanting to keep records, and plans to put his own voice to his roastings.
Everything's under control.
Meanwhile, a crime is in progress. Quark enlists the help of his brother Rom at the point in the show where the writers are still trying to figure out if Rom is a secret genius or a complete idiot.
Both.
Bickering as brothers do, and Quark discovering Rom's been breaking into his storerooms.
But stealing from me. Brother, I never. Tomorrow morning I'm changing my entire lock system.
The brothers get their hands on the Vatrick box. No doubt curious what all the trouble is about, Quark breaks open the box to find paper. A list of 8 Bajoran names. Don't bother reading it, it's all written in Bajoran. Not quite sure what it means, but sure it'll come in handy one day. Quark sends Rom to get him an imager. Ah yes, before the days of camera phones being on you at all times. But even though Rom has left Quark is far from alone. It turns out that curiosity does indeed kill Ferengi.
Yep.
Somebody help!
Somebody help!
My brother's been...
Shot.
He was then transferred
He
to a
shot the
better
shot, of
hospital where
course.
doctors upgraded his condition to alive.
Come on, this is early DS9. Who hasn't tried to kill Quark? Quark is critical, very much alive. The only witness around...
The fucking Klingon girl tried to kill Quark. She was like, what the fuck she say? When she put that knife out, she was like, defend yourself or some shit. Just like defend or what the fuck did that Klingon bitch say when she pulled out that knife? Quark was scared like a motherfucker.
However, is his brother Rom, who might have something to gain from Quark's death, namely Quark's bar, grill, and holosuites.
I've had my eye on you for a long time, Rom. You're not as stupid as you look. I am too!
Cisco attempts to come to Rom's defense, playing good cop in the game of good cop.
But Rom is playing that, I forgot what's that rule of acquisition. It's like a contract as a contract as a contract, but only under Ferengi. So he'll play stupid all fucking day. That's why I say Rom is not, you know, like, he's not fully dumb. He's an idiot, but he's smart too. And at the same time, he had to work his courage up to motherfucking stand up against Quark. And plus, he had to break one of the rules of acquisition. I think it was 91 of the motherfucking don't put finances over love or some shit like that. But he did anyway, you know, and he lived happily ever after and shit. And plus, he was help running on the fucking bar, you know. So like, you know, I fucks with him. I love Quark. Quark is the man. But I see why people want to kill him. But like, at the same time, I see why people love him too. And plus, he earned my respect. You know, like when he stayed on DS9 after it got took over by the Cardassians and the Dominion. He stayed. He fucking stayed. He could have died. They could have blew his head off the moment they went to the bar. But they asked him, like, nigga, why did you stay? It's like, nigga, I'm here to make money. Simple. Like, what you want?
cop. After all, his son Jake and Rom's son Nog are good friends. Odo, however, threatens to turn Rom into a 70s after-school special.
Well, you better tell his son that Dad's going to the lunar prison on Meldra 1, 200 degrees in the shade.
Attempting to...
It was 200 degrees in the shade. It's hot, oh yeah, in the shade. 200 degrees in the shade. We hot, oh yeah, in the shade. Hot like a motherfucker.
Avoid such a cruel fate, Rom confesses that Quark was attacked over a list they stole, but he doesn't know who the list was for because Quark never told him. All he knows was that the box was hidden during the Cardassian occupation and in the store that used to be the chemist shop. Which brings up all sorts of noir memories for Odo, in a cool filter on the station, almost mimicking the black and white movies of years gone by. So he would have forgotten Mrs. Vatrick?
Nope.
I'm sure he's forgotten about that by now.
Odo is called to meet with Gul Dukat, sitting in a chair with his feet up, drinking a tasty beverage, no doubt, exuding all the arrogance that only Marco Limo can convey.
You did a Cardassian metric, brought the house down.
And to this day, we have no idea what that is. Dukat's been keeping an eye on Odo's career, though, how he left the Bajoran scientists who found him, becoming renowned for his mastery in observation, and for being a truly neutral party the Bajorans would go to resolve disputes. Dukat wants to enlist Odo into solving the murder of Vatrick, the owner of the chemist shop.
Odo got blood on his hands, too. If I'm not mistaken, I think Odo sent like 8,000 people to their deaths on one episode. I'm not sure. I don't know if that was the parallel Odo or the real Odo. I think Odo sent like thousands of people to their death.
However, Odo doesn't want to become a Cardassian agent. I also love how dismissive Odo is of Dukat and the Cardassians. It's clear he wants nothing to do with them or their idea of justice.
I'm talking about order here. Justice.
There's very little justice in the Cardassian occupation of Bajor.
Don't push me.
Dukat, however, strong-arms Odo into agreeing by saying if he didn't help, Dukat would be forced to round up Bajorans and make an example of them.
Don't push me.
Dukat, however, strong-arms Odo into agreeing by saying if he didn't help, Dukat would be forced to round up Bajorans and make an example of them. Did I mention the Cardassian occupation really sucked? The investigation begins.
I save lives in my administration. Evidence! He wants evidence. By the time I came prefect to Bajor been fucked up for over 40 years. And when I extended my hand, he slapped it away. And they motherfucking killed 200 of my men. So what I did was grab 200 possible motherfucking Bajorans and executed them. 200 lives for 200 lives. Justice, not malevolence. Justice.
And the first witness is Mrs. Vatrick, though in far more reduced circumstances than in the present. And that's just it. Whether it's in the past or the present, Mrs. Vatrick does all right while the rest of Bajor suffers. In the present, bear in mind that Bajor is still struggling to recover from the occupation. The government is in disarray. Heck, they nearly had a coup earlier in the year. They're struggling to recover their economy. Heck, the Cardassians ruined a lot of their farmland. And yet, Mrs. Vatrick lives in comfort. A nice house, nice clothes and jewelry, and she seems to have money to pay Quark and an assassin.
Yep.
Just not to pay the electric bill.
We'll say what you will about the Cardassians, at least they could keep the power on.
Even from the start of the episode, something's...
The bitch didn't even catch. She was like, nigga, say what you want about the Kardashians. At least go to Dukat, keep my power on. That's hilarious.
Off with her. And then during the occupation, she and her husband aren't nearly as bad off as the rest of the Bajorans. They have private quarters, they're not working in the mines, they're able to run a shop. By comparison, they lived in comfort while the rest of the Bajorans dealt with atrocities. Again, something's fishy. I mean, sure, they might have gotten lucky, but I suspect...
Luck had nothing to do with
Luck
it.
had nothing to do
Oh, no
with
questions.
But you know what I love about her? I love her because she's very enthusiastic with her storytelling and her understanding of the Star Trek episode, and she be adding clips too. I like this girl. Daenerys Wise, shouts out to you with the Star Trek shit. And shout out to Steve Shivs And shout out to the Trek Analysis channels too.
This is Vatrick, who claims that her husband was having an affair and was killed by the woman he was having an affair with. Odo's keen awareness, however, notices something.
When a humanoid cries, the epidermis below the eyes swells noticeably, or epidermis is perfectly normal.
I've been too angry to cry.
Oh yeah, seems legit. Mrs. Vatrick takes Odo on the promenade and points out her husband's lover and possible murderer.
Of all the gin joints in all the towns in all the world, she walks into mine.
The rest of the episode goes back and forth between the present and the past, with Odo investigating both crimes. Kira approaches as Odo in the present and wonders if the list had anything to do with Vatrick's murder. Now, it's a tad odd that Kira would put those two things together, but she is the station's first officer and was on the station during Vatrick's murder. Odo continues on with his logs, and they're just filled with great noir lines. You can see the influence of the genre that inspired this episode, and I hope whoever wrote these lines got a nice bonus in their paycheck.
In this job,
I like the Bone Kira. I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry. I'm so sorry. The Rebel Kira, she was ruthless. Because I'm a fucking rebel. So, like, I already know the I'm talking about, like, the look in her eyes. Like, baby, you would kill me before you motherfucking, you know, if I disagree with you, Kira, I'm not going to disagree with you, baby. Let's kill these fucking Kardashians. You know what I'm saying? And just like dealing with her backstory, just like when it came to the occupation, when it came to dealing with the prophets of, the motherfucking prophets, and dealing with, you know, like the Bajoran religion, and, you know, like she was very conflicted about this shit. It's like Starfleet or Bajor, Starfleet or Bajor, Starfleet or Bajor. San Francisco. Is I'm a prophet or is I'm a captain? Is I'm a prophet or is I'm a captain? Because I'm a fucking captain. But this prophet shit, you know, like, it's like you got no fucking choice. It's like fate handed you this role. They artificially assimilated your mother on some God Jesus shit. You are the emissary, and plus the station is right next to Bajor, next to the wormhole. It was fate. It's fate.
There is no unfinished business. The Ferengi holds on to life for its gold-pressed platinum. Justice, as the humans like to say, is blind. I used to believe that. I'm not sure I can anymore.
Odo questions Rom about the list, though Rom is slightly preoccupied about the prospect of inheriting the bar.
Rom is like, yes, if my brother die, I get the bar, bitch. I like when Quark smiled when he was alive, though. They knew he was gonna be alive and made. But Rom really wanted that shop, though. Rom is a
Came to life all on his own. Typical.
Rom doesn't remember any of the names on the list, so Odo tries walking him through an exercise to help him remember anything.
Clear your mind of everything in it. If there's anything there.
I love the bits of humor in this episode. The story is
It's like, clear your mind. If there's anything there. I love Odo for that. Salute low key.
A story about a murder investigation and an attempted murder, but these little comedic moments help break up the episode so it doesn't get too serious.
Right.
It's pretty balanced. Nothing is overplayed. Rom is able to produce a name from his memory, something along the lines of Chesso. It's not much, but it's something to go on. Odo asks Kira if she remembers anyone from back then with that name, but she does not. She also mentions how they never talked about what happened back then. Odo saved her from being executed, but he points out that she was innocent.
That wouldn't have mattered to the Kardashians.
It mattered to me.
Back in the past, Odo and Kira meet, and it was love at first sight.
Pretty girl like you shouldn't be eating alone.
I don't do whatever it is you want. Not for money, not for food.
Ooh. Odo tries again and properly introduces himself and says he's investigating Vatrick's murder. Kira denies killing him, and Odo observes that she was in love with him.
But he was in love with you.
No.
Doesn't sound like much of a romance.
We weren't having a romance.
Odo, student of humanoid nature, ladies and gentlemen. According to Kira, she and Vatrick were just friends. They bonded over their love of tea, which is thoroughly understandable, but that was about it. She also claims that at the time of the murder,
we bonded over our love for tea. I would have been like, girl, you're lying.
Was trying to get a job at Quark since it was better than the mines. Though Odo catches on right away she never worked in the mines.
You haven't spent any time in the mines.
How do you know?
Your hands.
You're not bad at this.
Kira also finds it odd that Dukat picked Odo to investigate the murder. Why not his own men? They could get the information. She points.
Lord Ducart was smart like a motherfucker. It's like, nigga, I'm not about to hire my own people to investigate. I'm gonna get someone that I know is a neutral motherfucker that's very objective, and he gonna get the job done. Gold Ducart was smart. It's like, nigga, I'm not about to hire my own. I'm gonna get this motherfucker. And Gold Ducart was, he was trailing behind Odo. You know, like when he walked in on the investigation, man, Gold Ducart was ready to take Kira away. Odo was like, she's innocent, bruh. She's innocent, bruh.
Out that Odo is eventually going to have to choose a side.
I don't choose sides.
Everyone has to choose sides, Constable.
Back in the present, in a finely furnished home with the electric company finally receiving payment, Odo questions the Merry Widow herself, who claims to know nothing about the list.
Well, let's cut the bull, sister.
Odo mentions the name Chesso to Mrs. Vatrick, which she doesn't know anyone with that name, and finds it odd that she suddenly got enough money to pay the electric company. Mrs. Vatrick, however, refuses to tell Odo more, though looking rather worried that Odo asked her those questions. Kira, however, did find Chesso, though his name is really Cesaro, and, oh yeah, he's dead. Drowned last night in his own pond. Oddly coincidental, considering Odo only mentioned the name Chesso to Mrs. Vatrick just yesterday. So, clearly Quark's in danger, and no one's allowed to visit him in the infirmary.
Trying to kill him with a pillow.
With Odo met Quark.
I'm looking for the proprietor of this establishment.
Does he owe you money?
No.
Are you here to arrest him?
No.
He's looking at him.
You found him.
Quark, however, did see Kira, and she was applying for a job.
How long was she here?
Long enough.
Long enough for what?
Oh, you know.
Here's the thing about Quark. Yes, he's a massive pervert, and it's very clear by the way he says innuendos what exactly is on his mind. But the show never overdoes it. You can argue that was to keep Trek fairly PG in the 90s, but from a writing standpoint, where most shows overdo something like that, DS9 does more with less. But the Kira Quark is describing clearly doesn't line up with the Kira that wanted to knock Odo out 5 minutes ago for unintentionally innuendoing, so...
Hey, listen here!
Quark breaks. He wasn't bribed nearly enough by Kira for a decent alibi. And out of the shadows, Dukat walks in, eager to make an arrest. Doesn't matter if Odo's lead leads anywhere.
You'll get your name when it's the right name.
Quark and Dukat try to see what makes Odo tick. Chocolate, companionship. Guys, he isn't Deanna Troy.
I never met a chocolate I didn't like.
Back in the present, Odo uncovers that Mrs. Vatrick is in the blackmail business and finds it interesting that everyone she's been talking to came out of the occupation exceedingly wealthy.
Selling out their own world for a profit. Collaborators. Not even a Ferengi would do that.
Back in the past...
Yes, I lied about my alibi. That doesn't make me a killer.
Kira continues to lie about her alibi, and Odo keeps catching her in her lies.
Your whole face changes. I should have seen it before. You don't lie well.
Pressing her to tell the truth, Kira asks him whose side he's on, because he'll have to choose once she tells him. But Odo's whole shtick is that he's an outsider. He's on no one's side. He's just interested in straight-up justice. Which makes him a pretty good investigator that's lasted all the way to his job on DS9. Kira reveals she's in the Bajoran underground, and she was planning a bomb at the time of Vatrick's murder, backing it up with log information to corroborate her whereabouts, and even details about the device she used. Never mind murdering Vatrick, she's a rebel. She would be executed as an example. Just then, Dukat struts his way in during the confession, though apparently not hearing anything she said.
I'm convinced that she did not kill Vatrick.
And so, Vatrick's murder goes unsolved. Solved. Huh, she looks strangely familiar. Meanwhile, Quark has an unexpected visitor. Alerted by Rom's Ferengi squeals, Odo rushes in and apprehends Quark's would-be assassin.
Rom is a fucking clown. I bust out laughing when I heard that shit for the first time. I was like, what the fuck? And then like when he did it at the end, and then like when he did it after the shit was over, Quark was laying down on his girdie just smiling and shit like, yeah, bitch, I'm alive. And your ass is not about to get my motherfucking shop, you bitch ass nigga. I love that scene. I love that scene. Quark just smiling, just laying down like, yo, you ain't about to get shit. I live, motherfucker.
Rom has just saved his brother's life, but loses the bar.
Yep.
That little smile.
That smile
With
is
both
priceless.
the assassin and Mrs. Vatrick behind bars, Mrs. Vatrick still maintains her innocence that she did not kill her husband.
I know.
Update.
When did you realize?
Yes, it was Kira all along.
All along.
Kira got away with murder for 5 years. Odo began to suspect her after she got the name Cesaro so quickly. When he realized the list was a list of collaborators, Vatrick must also have been a collaborator, and therefore there was motive for his murder. It had to be someone from the Bajoran underground. Kira's colleague was supposed to set up the bomb she used as an alibi. Her job was finding the list. She was looking for the list in Vatrick's shop when he walked in on her, and, well, one thing led to another. And Dukat didn't want to blow the cover on his Bajoran connections, so that's why he hired Odo to investigate Vatrick's murder. It's all coming together now.
You don't lie, Will. You were a better liar than I gave you credit for.
Well, the truth is usually just an excuse for lack of imagination.
Odo is hurt that Kira never told him the truth. Even though Kira didn't want to tell him because he was working for the Cardassians, he hadn't been for over a year. Kira wanted to tell him, but she said it would affect their friendship. Odo remarks that maybe this revelation doesn't happen.
Will you ever be able to trust me in the same way again?
And that was Necessary Evil.
That was a good episode.
Yep, the episode ends with Kira's question going unanswered, which feels appropriate. This is a pretty good episode. A murder mystery with a classic noir tone, some comedy thrown in, an Odo character study, and background for the friendship between Odo and Kira. DS9 is a show about shades of gray, and now Odo and Kira's friendship.
And then, when I had to ask the question on why did Kira actually get with Odo, it goes back to this episode. It was like, why did Kira choose Odo? They're like, why? He's a fucking shifter, and this motherfucking people is the enemy. But understanding this episode, it lets me know they were friends first. They was friends first. So it grew over time. But Kira is a fucking killer. And Kira means killer in Japanese. Any fucking way.
Is also a shade of gray.
Kira is a killer.
Odo thought he knew Kira. Heck, he thought he knew more about her than she thought he did.
How much do you know about me, Odo?
More than you probably realize.
Kira's innocence was the reason they became friends, but it turned out that she wasn't innocent all along. This is the first example of both characters having done regrettable actions during the occupation. The other was the season 5 episode Things Past, where Odo's sense of justice failed him, shattering Kira's perception of him.
I guess the truth is that anyone who lived through the occupation had to get a little dirty.
And yet, despite this, whether it's Kira's crime in Necessary Evil or Odo's failure in Things Past, they're still able to remain friends throughout the show, even falling in love with each other. In a sense, even though they're both good characters, Kira and Odo had redemption arcs, and they came out stronger at the end of them. Underneath the tough exterior, Kira cares deeply what Odo thinks about her, and the things she's done that she's not proud of. And Odo, because of Things Past, became more committed to justice. Necessary Evil is an example of DS9 showing that its characters are, for lack of a better word, human. So what do you think? How do you like Necessary Evil? Do you
love that episode now. You know, like after her breaking it down and then me like having my, you know, like theories on the character development, I'm like, why the fuck is she with Odo? And it goes back to this episode. He investigated her, Quark, and everybody else that was over there during the shit. So it's like, okay, yeah. You know, like they was friends first. You know. So yeah, I got one more video. I know you say you leaving that one. You know, but you still want me to do this last video, or you want me to wait till you get back? Because it's only 16 minutes and 58 seconds. That's if I don't stop and say shit. But you want me to start it, or you want me to wait? It's up to you, baby. Because I know it's 12:40. All right, I'm gonna do it.
Never forgive them for the death of my boy.
I was on the Saratoga Interval 359.
But you're not alone. You're part of a human community now.
I'm not ready to declare them a lost cause.
Now, the question is, would the other captains put the virus inside of Hugh to go destroy the Borg? Would the captains do it?
We are Hugh.
Hey, it's Janelle Waz, and welcome back to another Star Trek video. Last time on Trek Analysis, I discussed the Star Trek The Next Generation episode I, Borg, and whether or not Picard should have used Hugh to destroy the Borg via a computer virus. Assuming they didn't have antivirus installed or something.
If I'm a fan of DS9 and saw what Cisco went through, I would have did that shit. Inject that motherfucker with the virus and send that fucker back to his motherfucking Borg people and kill them all. Yes, that's what it did. If I was the fourth Doctor in Doctor Who, aka Tom Baker, with the long ass scarf, he had the ability to kill the Daleks. He could have killed the Daleks and there would have been no Time War. You know, in that Time War, you know, like brought Doctor Who back and shit. It's a ninth Doctor, Christopher Eccleston. Then it goes to David Tennant. Then it goes to Matt Smith. Then it goes to Peter Capaldi. Then it goes to the female dumb bitch Jodie Whittaker. Then it goes to the faggot Doctor Shitty Gatwa. But yeah, that's a whole Doctor Who. I need to do some Doctor Who lives, but like not too many people fans of Doctor Who like that. So, you know, fuck it, I'll still do it. I don't give a fuck. I'll bring some Doctor Who fans to my channel. I don't give a shit.
But the dilemma is a very interesting damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Destroy the Borg with a virus, potentially saving billions of lives, but at the expense of someone rediscovering his individuality. Or respect the individual rights of the one at the expense of the many. And ultimately, Picard does choose not to implant Hugh with the virus, instead using his newfound individuality as a virus to infect the Borg, with lousy results.
Yes.
But among the other 4 leading Star Trek captains, how would they have handled the events of I, Borg? Would they have reached the same conclusion as Captain Picard, or are they more willing to risk the needs of the one for the billions of lives in the Alpha Quadrant? Now, I'm gonna look at this in 2 parts for each captain.
Fuck the bullshit. I'm sorry, Hugh. I'm using you as a virus. I'm sorry. I think Cisco would do it. It's like if it's to save millions of people in the Alpha Quadrant, we have to do it. He's a Borg. But I understand the individuality of Hugh, you know, and he was innocent.
This is before we get to Voyager, where Janeway lets on 7 of 9. So we know Janeway might not do it. The key word is might. But, you know, I don't think she'll do it. She might though.
She might though.
I don't respond well to threats. Janeway would go in. But I think Cisco would definitely do it.
Kill my wife.
He went after Eddington. You betrayed your uniform. And you're betraying yours right now. No, you shut up.
No, you shut up.
1, whether or not they would have stopped to heal Hugh from the initial crash. And 2, whether or not they would have implanted him with the virus and sent him back to infect the collective. Once again, resistance is futile as we put the other Star Trek captains to the I, Borg test.
What do you think? You. No, not you. Hugh.
But before I go further, thanks for checking out my video. Make sure you like and subscribe for more of my Star Trek, video game, and other miscellaneous content. Keep those hailing frequencies open on the other social media sites, and a big thank you to my channel members for supporting the channel. If you'd like to buy me a cup of tea and support my work, consider joining up on my channel. Be great to have you aboard.
Fuck these ads, man. I hate
now,
ads.
Captain Kirk is the only captain here who never had any interactions with the Borg. Unless you count Star Trek Legacy, and yeah, that mission felt a little shoehorned in.
Aside from the destructive power of a single molecule of Omega, it has destroyed subspace through a 3-light-year radius around the Montaro sector.
I don't care if you can make it sing and dance. We're getting rid of it.
But we can deduce how Kirk would have acted in the case of Hugh based on his interactions with other aliens. Kirk does have a humanitarian streak to him, even going as far as to help those who previously worked against him. within limits, still marooned Khan on SETI Alpha 5.
This is SETI Alpha 5!
And Kirk does recognize the needs of the individual. Sure, we all know about Spock preaching the needs of the many, and Kirk would certainly have them in his ear, but he's also willing to go out of his way for the needs of the one, be they friend or silicon-based life form.
Well, what do we do? Just talk it over?
Now, considering Kirk was the guy who stopped to investigate a ship from the 1990s, a time of turmoil and boy bands, just to wake up one of the worst tyrannical leaders of that time with a magnificent choice.
They're real and they're spectacular.
Sure, I can see him stopping to investigate a crashed Borg ship and even render aid to Hugh. Granted, probably because he doesn't know what the hell he's looking at.
Right.
But what about using Hugh as a carrier for a virus to destroy the Borg, a galaxy-wide threat? Well, this is the same guy who was willing to let the Klingons die in Star Trek VI. Granted, he had personal reasons for saying that.
Yeah, killed his son.
I never forgive them for the death of my boy. They are dying. Let them die.
But given an even
that nigga Kirk was like, let them die. Kirk was pissed. Like, the motherfuckers killed my boy. Nigga, what? Kill them all. Like, nigga, let them die. Let them die, Spock.
Your threat in the Borg, it wouldn't be that far of a stretch for Captain Kirk to implement the virus. But on the other hand, we have Hugh the individual, and if the episode Devil in the Dark is anything to go by, while Kirk is willing to defend his people, he will protect a peaceful individual against the mob, the needs of the one being preserved. Confronted with Hugh's growing individuality, not a mere member of the Borg collective, I think Kirk would find a different solution to preserve Hugh's rights while eliminating a deadly threat.
He's a tactician.
I could see him maybe luring the Borg, going over to the Borg cube himself, and personally talking them to death. Like he has for so many computers before. Or maybe set a couple of charges like another Captain Kirk.
Captain James T. Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. Your dog tags say otherwise. They're lying.
Now, as a survivor of Wolf 359, Cisco was personally affected by the Borg when his wife died in the attack, and he carried around that grief and anger for years, as Captain Picard could tell you.
I was on the Saratoga at Wolf 359.
It was at this moment he knew. He f***ed up.
Like Picard, the situation would hit a little close to home for Cisco, but unlike Picard, he's more willing to cross ethical boundaries, especially if the Alpha Quadrant is at stake. And on top of that, if the situation is particularly personal, he's gonna go that extra mile to get the job done more than any other assignment.
I was on the Saratoga on Wolf 359. Picard was like, that's when he knew that he fucked up.
For one thing, I don't think he would have helped Hugh in the wreckage in the first place. Or instead, he would have told Julian to get back to the ship. That's an order, Doctor! Because he's not gonna risk his ship to do it. If you look at the episode The Way of the Warrior, when the Defiant happened upon a bunch of wrecked Cardassian ships, sure, there could have been survivors, but the Defiant would have had to decloak to run scans with hostile Klingon ships nearby.
But sir, if there are survivors, I'm sorry, Doctor, we can't risk it. We have to reach Dukat.
Fighting off a bunch of Klingon ships pales in comparison to the risks of straight up bringing a Borg on board to render medical aid, so I doubt Cisco would have done it, probably leaving the barely alive Hugh for dead or to be picked up by another Borg ship. But let's say he did and had the opportunity to implant Hugh with a virus to destroy the Borg, even with his budding individuality. I think he's perfectly capable of it.
Yes!
Granted, I don't think he would do it without a second thought. This is the same guy that tried to give the Jem'Hadar unit an out when they were stranded on a planet with a dwindling supply of Ketracel White.
Do you really want to give up your life for the order of things? It is not my life to give up, Captain, and it never was.
But in addition to his personal feelings about the Borg, which,
scene.
even if he was able to move beyond his grief, it's more than likely still there, we did see him bring Eddington in for treason by poisoning a planet atmosphere, ultimately to stop him from using biogenic weapons against even more planets. And again, the personal betrayal made Ben even more determined to bring him in. He did his job as a Starfleet officer, but he went the extra mile on his own.
Yep.
Of course, it didn't help that he was egged on the entire time.
It's a book. One of my favorites. Les Miserables. Well, Javert, what are you really up to, Javert?
You know, in some ways, you're even worse than the Borg.
Yeah, it was his own damn fault he got arrested. We've also seen him deceive the Romulans into the because he kept seeing those around him lose friends and family to the war, ultimately saving the Alpha Quadrant, and all it cost was the life of one Romulan senator, one criminal, and the self-respect of one Starfleet officer.
I don't know about you, but I'd call that a bargain.
So could I see him approving a virus to be implanted in Hugh to take out the Borg once and for all, after he lost his wife to a Borg attack and saved the Alpha Quadrant in the process? Yep. Sure, he'll do his duty as a Starfleet officer to protect the Alpha Quadrant, but with that additional personal stake in it, he would be even more invested in the success of that mission. And yes, I can see Julian pushing back on this decision, but unlike Picard, Ben wasn't shy about telling his charming CMO to shut up and follow orders.
File an official protest with Starfleet Medical.
That is your right, but I want the gel by the end of the day. Dismiss.
Yeah. Cisco didn't give a fuck. Bashir was like, I'm about to, motherfucker, report this shit to Starfleet Medical. Go ahead, but I need this shit at the end of the fucking day. Dismissed. I'm like, oh, shit, Cisco is a beast.
Now, Captain Janeway is an interesting case, as she always seems to be. Because in some ways, I can see her going either way with Hugh. Because on the one hand, there's 7 of 9, successfully unassimilated from the collective and on her way to rediscovering her humanity. Something that Janeway was instrumental in. Heck, she even took in some Borg kids for about a year. In many ways, Janeway would be sympathetic to Hugh, having seen successful separations from the collective. But on the other hand, she can be particularly brutal when necessary when it comes to dealing with the Borg. Let's not count Admiral Janeway because she was technically from an alternate timeline. A timeline where she swore off coffee. The real Janeway would never pass up an opportunity to drink coffee.
That's right.
Fresh coffee. Would you like a cup? No, I gave it up years ago. I only drink tea now.
You gave it up years ago. You only drink tea now. I'm like, what happened to myself in the future? I'm like, I would never turn down coffee. I love tea though, but I would never turn down coffee. What happened to you? Janeway, Admiral Janeway, had survivor's guilt. That was the whole shit. She had survivor's guilt and was willing to sacrifice herself to save the crew. That could be years earlier, but Janeway kept them out there for 2 more years. I was kind of heated about that. But they could have been home. So I blame Janeway for that episode. It was a good ass episode too. I'm not gonna lie, but they could have been home. But the crew, even Admiral Janeway said it. She was like, I forgot how loyal my crew was to me. Y'all would go down with this ship. And plus, I'm from another timeline. Y'all don't even trust me fully. That's what I'm talking about. She actually had to respect that moment.
I only drink tea. It's a changeling.
Now, Voyager has a history of taking side quests and stopping by planets to help, and they would have been better off moving on. Because that's how Harry Kim got tormented by evil clones. So I can see Janeway stopping by Hugh's wreckage, if only to learn more about Borg technology. And it wouldn't be too much of a stretch for her to render aid as well. Again, look at 7 and the Borg kids.
When you sleep, there are no other voices in your mind.
No. Silence is unacceptable. We need the others.
I can't give you back to the Borg, but you're not alone.
But would she have used Hugh as a means of destruction against the Borg? Well, that's where things get a little tricky. Again, while we've seen her being ruthless against the Borg to protect her ship, we've also seen her witness 7 and the Borg kids rediscover their humanity. They're becoming individuals again. Because Hugh isn't unlike Voyager's former Borgs, I do think that Janeway would think twice about using him to deliver.
But there was one thing about Hugh that I saw in his face. I saw, what's that word? Innocence. Hugh looked very innocent, and I see and I understand why they gravitated towards Hugh. He looked very innocent, like he was a fucking child that didn't know what the fuck was going on, you know. And it's like, man, let's help him. Let's help him. And you know, I understand that part, but me at the same time, if I would have witnessed that moment, no matter what ship I was on, no matter what season of Star Trek that I'm in, I would have felt that compassion. But at the end of the day, I gotta go by protecting the people of the Alpha Quadrant. Rather, if I'm a commander, captain, or a fucking doctor or head of security, it's, you know, like we gotta do it. If it's to save the Alpha Quadrant, we got to do it. And besides, he's the Borg. It's the fucking Borg. This is the worstest enemy of all. We have to kill him. You know, we have to. I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry.
Virus.
And that's crazy. Didn't think twice about killing Tuvix.
I forgot about Tuvix.
They did think about it. It was a crazy episode, but still, though. He killed Tuvix.
Who would she think she is? Icheb's mom? If anything, she would inject herself with a virus and get assimilated to bring the Borg down herself, or she would find a way to directly input the virus into the Borg cube. While I do think she would be capable of implanting Hugh with the Borg virus, I don't think that would be her first choice. Instead of using an unknowing participant to destroy his species, I think she would rather put herself at risk so no one else ends up getting hurt. Well,
because that's what Admiral Janeway did. She went back to go motherfucking inject herself and motherfucking save the Voyager crew. So I see why she would come to that conclusion.
For the Borg.
This is more than just a question of tactics. I'm concerned about your well-being.
Now, strangely enough, Captain Archer had a run-in with the Borg for an episode as a little cleanup to Star Trek First Contact, which is kind of strange.
And that blew my mind. I'm like, okay, I thought the motherfucking prize was before Kirk. So, like, for them to meet the Borg, I'm like, what the fuck going on? Like, this is why I gotta watch Enterprise. But she just explained it. It was to cover up the shit from the First Contact movie. Because the Borg came to Earth and started blasting shit. So, yeah, for Archer to interact with the Borg, woo, I'm surprised Archer and his crew not dead.
Because he was before Kirk and shouldn't have encountered the Borg, but, you know, time travel.
I hate mechanics.
Granted, in the episode Regeneration, he was ordered to investigate the Borg happenings in space and didn't know what he was dealing with. But we do see that Archer wanted to do everything possible to unassimilate his people and the Tarkalian traitors, and only destroy the Borg ship as a last resort. That, combined with what we know of him, should be enough to determine how he would react to Hugh. First of all, would Archer have stopped to help Hugh in the wreckage? Oh, hell yes! He has a nasty habit of helping every hitchhiker he runs across, even against T'Pol's advice, inevitably leading to his being kidnapped or otherwise duped. Would Hugh's wreckage really be any different? Absolutely.
Now, she said that Archer was picking up motherfuckers like hotcakes. Even T'Pol was like, yo, don't do it. Like, bitch, I'm the captain. And I'm clapping your cheeks tonight. I'm doing it.
Especially if he didn't know what he was dealing with.
My compassion guides my judgment.
Yeah, often to a fault.
What's crazy is this. Well, fuck it. It's not crazy. It's part of Starfleet. And in the words of Captain Sisko, we're explorers. They're just exploring. So, yeah. So, you know, you're meeting something new. Let's interact with it and see if we can talk and try to get you in the Galactic Federation. I mean,
but as for implanting the virus, again, like a lot of things with Archer, it depends on how dire the circumstances are. I know I keep bringing up the Xindi arc in these videos, but it does show that Archer is capable of decisions he otherwise wouldn't consider if the survival of his ship or Earth is at stake. His compassionate nature would cause him to feel guilt over it later on, but if Earth was under direct threat from the Borg, sure, Archer is capable of ordering Hugh to be implanted with a virus and used as a means of destruction. But under more normal circumstances, say the Borg are a threat but Earth is in an immediate danger and Hugh is rediscovering his individuality, I think Archer would be very hesitant. Granted, T'Pol, the one who said they need to destroy the Borg ship even with the chance of humans on board, would immediately start with the needs of the many.
And I don't want to hear any lectures about the needs of the many. I get enough of that crap from T'Pol.
But Archer...
He was like, don't tell me about the needs of the many. I get enough of that from, you know, Eddie Pauls. He said, T'Pol, I love clapping her cheeks, looking at her beautiful face as I do missionary. Suck on those titties while I'm pounding her fucking cake. That's the way he said it. I'm not saying this shit as we saying this shit. I'm sorry. No.
His compassionate nature would override any advice from T'Pol. Heck, in Regeneration, he still wanted to save his crew on board the Borg ship. He wasn't willing to give up on them if they can be cured. Which it turned out they were too far gone. But on top of that, when you look at episodes like Dear Doctor, I don't think he would feel comfortable making big decisions like the one Picard considered with you.
I'm going to have to remind myself every day that we didn't come out here to play God.
Confronted with
that scene right there, and even though I never seen the show, but hearing that moment, it lets me know his true character. He's, you know, I'm an explorer, I work for Starfleet, we're gonna go out here and, you know, explore the galaxy. It's like we're not trying to play God, because he got to live with that every day. He's like, look, I'm not God, I'm not God, I'm not God, I'm not God, I'm a captain. This is my ship, there's explorers. We try to bring people into the Federation of Planets. That's my mission. We're not out here thinking we better than nobody. We are just, you know, we are just humans from Earth. And, I like, I got to watch Enterprise.
The idea of whether or not...
Like you said, Vonta, it's not better than the big three. But if I do watch it, goddamn, I got to watch it from the beginning. I was just going to go straight to the Xindi arc because like she kept on talking about the Xindi arc, you know. So I was like, but one day I will. You know what? I might watch it with you, Vonta. I'm gonna watch it with you.
They have the right to take out the Borg via Hugh.
We'll watch it together.
I would argue that Archer probably wouldn't have used the virus on Hugh. If there was an immediate Borg threat, I think he would probably opt for something closer to what Kirk would do. Only instead of talking a computer to death, he probably would plant a few explosives and get the hell out of there.
Sounds to me like we've only postponed the invasion until what?
But that's a suicide mission. Because the Borg is going to know you around. Unless y'all got some motherfucking cloak shit that the Borg can't scan and you manage to get on the goddamn ship. But like every other time, like a motherfucker force they way in that bitch. They blast and they force they way in that bitch. Otherwise, man, shit. Good luck. Planting some explosives on a Borg ship. You gotta motherfucking see them first. And they're gonna see you before you see them. Best believe that. They got you. So it's a suicide mission if Archer did it. You know, like if he did go there and plant explosives and shit. Janeway would just go on the ship and be like, I'm gonna inject myself. Let's go. You know.
4th century.
The last real Trek, really.
And here's all the captains and how I think they would react to Hugh. I do think that each of the other...
yes, for... Thank you, Vonta. Like it's the last real Trek, really. You're right. Because after like Enterprise, they came up with that other bullshit. Yup. You're right. You're right, Vonta. I'll take a hit of that. Some good weed, baby.
No for Cisco, yes for Janeway, yes for Archer. Damn, I'm going with a yes for Cisco, yes for Kirk, yes for... Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. I'm looking at the shit wrong. She got a chart.
Yeah, she put out a chart.
Okay, stop and render aid. Kirk would be like, yes. Cisco is not stopping to render aid, so that's a no. Janeway, she's stopping to render aid. Archer, definitely stopping. Bet. Now, implant the Borg with the virus. Kirk, the answer is no, he wouldn't do it. Cisco, definitely a yes. I already said it, yes. Janeway, no. But I don't know why you killed Tuvix. And Archer is a no. Now, we got extra notes. James Kirk will probably sneak on board the cube and talk them to death. Cisco, other notes, it will be very fucking personal. Yes. Yes. The Borg is dying fucking with Cisco. Capable, Janeway, capable, but would rather put herself in the danger.
Yep.
And last but not least, Archer, capable, but under normal circumstances, probably not. So yeah, that's the shit.
Captains would take a more proactive approach than Picard, hoping that the knowledge of individuality takes care of the Borg. Sisko would probably take the more direct effective approach, while Archer would probably lean the closest to Picard under normal circumstances. But now what about you? How do you think the other captains would have handled you? Do you agree with my analysis, or do you think I'm missing something? And what
I think I agree.
moral dilemma would you like to see the other captains handle? Please, leave comments below and discuss.
I have to go soon. Yeah, baby. The video just ended, and we about to end it right here. And baby, I might be back for probably an HHN. If not an HHN, it'll be a jam session, baby. Now you go take care of business. I know you probably about to grab some food. I think it's like 6 o'clock over there. 6:05. I know you probably about to grab some food and grab some shopping stuff. Get your shopping on, baby. I can't wait till I walk with you and go shopping. Like, what we eating today? Let's go out and go for a little drive. Watch the wind blow through your hair. Looking all beautiful and sexy while you drive. And I'm sitting in the passenger seat just looking at you, like just smiling and shit. And we listening to Journey. Just a city boy. Born here as a son to drive. We driving to the market and shit. I can't wait till we do that, Vonta. That's going to be awesome. Yeah, you already know. And shout out to everybody that hit the like button and everybody that came through. I think Chance came through, Live and Learn, Eyes Wide Shut. Shouts out to y'all and everybody that hit the like button. I know, like not everybody up on Star Trek, but thank y'all for hitting the like button anyway. And let's go grab us something to eat, Vonta. And I'm gonna catch y'all in a minute. Peace. Much love, Vonta. Kapla. Gomasha. What? Let's go.